Alright, so now you've successfully set up your very own Rust server. And if you're following the FACEPUNCH schedule, you know that every first Thursday of the month comes a forced wipe. Well, if you don't know how to successfully navigate your way through a forced wipe, or if you just want to wipe your server so that your players have something fresh to play on, keep watching this video. I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to do in order to have a successful wipe. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you guys the very best tips and tricks to owning and operating a successful Rust server. On this channel, I do a lot of plugin reviews and tutorials to hopefully teach you guys some of the ins and the outs to having a successful Rust server. So if you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on everything that we're working on. And of course, if you've taken any value out of this video whatsoever, it's so simple for you guys to help me out just simply by smashing that like button. So you've successfully set up your Rust server. And if you haven't set up your Rust server yet, you're going to want to check out this video right here so that you do have your very own Rust server. But with that comes a certain amount of responsibilities. So you need to decide what type of wipe schedule you're going to operate on your server. If you just want to follow FACEPUNCH's wipe schedule, that's fine. You can definitely do that, which is the first Thursday of every month. If you want to wipe every week, that's fine. You can do that. If you want to wipe every Tuesday, every Sunday, doesn't matter what kind of schedule you want to keep on your server. This process is going to work the same way no matter which day you do it. I should also mention that this process is being performed on a locally hosted server. This exact same process can be done on a dedicated server where you're actually using RDP to log into your server. A lot of hosting providers out there will do all of this stuff for you in the background. They sometimes just give you a button that you just click on wipe now. Stay tuned for that video. That one's coming up very soon because I want to show you guys exactly how easy it is, how convenient it is, and how fast it is to update and wipe your server using Icetoast. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so this process is actually incredibly easy. It's just if you don't know where to find the information, you may not find anywhere out there telling you how to actually do that. So the first thing we want to do is obviously shut down the server. But if there are players on the server, you want to let them know that you're going to be wiping the server and to just wait a couple of minutes and the server will be back online. The reason why I say you want to let them know is because if you just shut down the server and you don't tell them what you're doing and a minute later they try to reconnect to the server and it's not there because you're updating it, then you're going to run into a problem. They're probably not going to come back to your server right away. So if you have players, make sure you let them know what you're doing. So because I don't have any players on my server right now, I can use a couple of different commands. I can use the restart command, I can use the quit command, or I could just X out of the console altogether. So one of the questions I quite often get is whenever you use the quit command or the restart command, if you have a restart loop built in, which if you followed my video, you definitely do, then the server just comes back online as soon as you enter quit or restart. And this is what that looks like right now. So it'll go through the save process and then it just immediately starts restarting the server. It's fine to just click on the X in the top right hand corner and actually close the application. It'll hard close the server. That's okay. As soon as you type quit on your console and hit enter, it will immediately save. So it's not like people are going to end up with a rollback. This of course is information that is only important when you're not wiping your server. So let's say FACEPUNCH has pushed a hotfix for something and you have to do a server update. This information is valuable. So once our server is offline, now we actually get to make the changes that we're going to make to our server. Are we going to change the map size? Are we going to change the map seed? Whatever it is that you decide that you want to do on your server. So I just realized that my map size is 4,500. Well, that's way too big just for a test server, especially when I'm the only one that logs onto the server. So I'm going to change my map size right now to 1,500 instead, which is a much smaller server. When I'm wiping my server and I'm looking for a map seed, I don't typically care what it is unless I happen to come across one that I really like and I want to remember it. I'll write that map seed down and maybe use it a couple of times throughout the year. But for normal wipe cycles, I don't care what the map seed is. So I just go to Google and I generate a random map seed. So for right now, we're just going to use this map seed right there. Control C, copy that to the clipboard. We're going to go back over to our batch file and we're going to replace the old map seed with the new map seed. So let's say in your server description, you also advertise your wipe schedule or when the last wipe was or when the last blueprint wipe was, whatever information you want to get across to your players. This is the time to update that information right now. So I just updated my server description to say that this server is just wiped on January 7th, 2021. So now if you're satisfied with how your server is looking right now, that's it, you're done. All you have to do is save and restart your server. So if I were going to, I would just go into my Rust server files and I would restart this batch file right here. But there's a couple of things that I want to show you before we actually restart the server. If you want to manually wipe your blueprints, that means FACEPUNCH isn't forcing a blueprint wipe, but you want to have fresh blueprints on your server. So in the folder where you have all of your Rust files, you want to go into the server folder and you'll see a folder in there called whatever it is that you called your server on server identity in your batch file. So we can go in there. Now you're going to see a bunch of files in here that you may not necessarily know what they are. These two files that you see down at the bottom there that I now have highlighted are just the previous map information and the previous save information. You can delete these files if you want to, but you can also keep them there. It makes no difference. As long as as you've changed your map seed or your map size in your batch file, that information won't affect anything. It'll just stay there. The server is going to create new files anyways. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a couple of minutes. But if you want to reset your player's blueprints, this is the file that you want to delete. And that's simply what you do. You just delete this file, click on delete. Yes, we want to delete that file. Now the blueprint information for our server is completely gone and everyone starts over fresh. And so now that we're done with that, we can go up one folder, up another folder, and now we can restart our server. And you're going to see it do familiar things that you've seen in the past. So it's going to check with Steam. It's going to see if there's an update from FACEPUNCH. If there is, it's going to go ahead and install that update. All right, 258.550 fully installed. Cool. So now we have the update. Now the server is going to continue on with the restart process, and then our server is going to be up and running. Okay, so you can see my console is now telling me that my map seed is now 1500 with this randomly generated map seed that I've used. As you guys can see, there's a bunch of yellow warnings there. I know that I've made a couple of comments on my YouTube channel. Don't worry about yellow warnings. They just don't worry about it. They're no big deal. Don't stress. So if you've changed your map seed or your map size, you're going to see this line happen right here on your console. Could not load server, blah, 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 and then all this information. All that is your server recreating that map save that I told you a couple of minutes ago you can delete if you want to, you don't have to. If we go back into our server folder, you're going to see that that map save has now changed. It now reflects the map size that I entered on my batch file, as well as the random map seed. So that's basically it. That's how easy it is to wipe and update your server. So the information that I've now given you on this video only works for people that are using 100% vanilla servers. If you have UMod or Oxide installed on your server, this process is actually going to remove Oxide from your server, and you'll have to grab a new version of it and reinstall Oxide in order for all your plugins to work. However, if you're just running a 100% vanilla server, this exact process is all you need to do. For those of you that are using Oxide on your servers, I do have a video coming out that is dedicated just for you guys, shows you how to do this process and still maintain your Oxide. All right, so now you've successfully updated your server, you've performed a map wipe, and in my case that I just showed you guys on screen, we did a blueprint wipe as well. Today being January 7th of 2021, FACEPUNCH forced a blueprint wipe anyways, so anytime FACEPUNCH forces a blueprint wipe, it doesn't matter what you do, you won't be able to retain that information going from one wipe to the next. When FACEPUNCH says we're wiping blueprints, that's it, we're wiping blueprints. Now, one question that I do quite often get is, how do I make it so that I don't have to wipe my server? Let's say you have players on your server that just want to continue on. They don't want to start over from fresh. I'm working with a super secret agent guy that is going to show me a process in which this might, maybe, should be, could be possible. And it's far easier than anything I've ever told you guys in the past. Previously, we've had to do custom maps and a whole bunch of other stuff that most people can't necessarily be bothered to do. But it sounds like if we can make this work like I think we can, we should be able to make it so that we can still update our servers but not wipe them. But we'll see how this all transpires. I'll let you guys know as I move along in that process. All right, that's it for today's video. Remember, I put out a brand new video every Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So until then, I hope you guys are staying safe and taking care of each other. And like I said last week, make sure you check on your next door neighbors and make sure they're doing okay too. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next Friday.